where the Campervan tour has made it to Rome. This is the first of 2 days, and we're off to the Vatican Museum to have a wander about, mainly for Sonia to see the Raphael Rooms and for me to see Michelangelo's ceiling in the Sistine Chapel. Then it's off to St Peter's Square and also to his amazing Basilica. We learn that you can actually go into the dome, but not only that, you can actually go to the very top. And boy, that was something. All finished off with our favourite meal of the holiday so far. Let's see how we get on.
So me and wifey, we've arrived in Rome. We arrived yesterday, had a very relaxing day, got some adulting done, some washing, actually cooked for ourselves. There was a furious attack of wasps during dinner. Horrendous.
Which annoyed someone more than others.
Yeah. So, we're at the tram stop outside the campsite. Me and wifey woos waiting to catch the tram into central Rome. Terminates, last stop is where we want to be, terminates outside the main station. And then it's a bus, number 70, or the metro. So we're going to see if the metro's quicker, because the bus says 22 stops, which sounds a bit manic. So yeah, Vatican City today. Really looking forward to that. The Sistine Chapel is one of the main things I wanted to see in Italy. So I can't wait to tick that off. Wifey wants to see the Raphael Rooms.
Yep.
So she'll get that ticked off as well. And so hopefully it'll be a good day. A little bit frightened about how hot it might get. Chatting to a French guy next to us, he reckoned it was pushing 40 yesterday. So we'll just have to wait and see. We decided not to take the bus, that said 22 stops. It took us a while, but we got the metro. And this is the first time we've seen Vatican. Vatican City, even. There's a hell of a lot of people who haven't pre-bought tickets. Queue's massive. Luckily for me, wife is the queen of organising. And she sorted it out. So no horrific queue for us, hopefully, unless the queue for the pre-bought tickets is even bigger. So we've actually arrived too early, which is not the Vasey way, is it, really?
No, I was really quite stressed that we weren't going to make it.
She's been whipping me like a horse on the back straight to get here. Now we're too early, we're dripping in sweat. We've got to wait 20 minutes at least before we can even go in. But we're here, it's only teasing. So we've come to the cafe across the road for a cheeky little drink while we wait. Cheers, wifey woo. We're in. We've got what are these things called again? Audio guides, that's it. We've got audio guides. Gone through security. And before we start taking in the rooms, there's a pretty amazing view to be had inside these walls. We're going to go and have a little look at that spinny thing. It's called Sphere Within Sphere, 1990. Bronze 4 meters diameter. Gift of the artist. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Birds catching the light. Get in there, come on, let's have you with the moving ball.
Not going in.
Eh?
Not crossing the
No.
line.
Ah, there we go.
So in all honesty, me and Sonia had no idea just how big the Vatican Museum is. I was like, well, if we're going to Rome, I want to go to see the Sistine Chapel. And wife was like, yeah, and I want to go and see the Raphael Rooms. So we were like, cool, where do we go? The Vatican, brilliant. And honestly, we've got here and it is massive. I've read up since we've got home, and apparently if you stood in front of every piece of art for 1 minute, it would take you 12 years to see everything. Now that is mental. But I've just recorded some of our highlights so that we can remember our day in years to come. Beautiful little courtyard. It's an octagon. So the Hall of Animals was pretty cool. It's basically stuffed full of statues and sculptures of animals, and apparently the idea was to create a stone zoo, and most of the works were done in the 1700s apparently. Well, if this idiot had actually videoed the floor, you would have been looking at mosaics from the first decades of the 3rd century AD. Tapestries, not really my thing, but all of them on the left hand side of this hall are actually designed by Raphael. Now this was pretty cool. You got all the maps around Italy and major cities, and the ceiling is painted with major religious events that happened in each of the places. And obviously this room celebrates the Immaculate Conception, and it was really, really a beautiful room. And there she is, the lovely wife. We've arrived in the Raphael Rooms, which is one of the main things she wanted to do when we were in Rome. There were actually 4 rooms, and they were painted by Raphael and some of his students, and they were out of this world beautiful. Wife was in her element, and I was absolutely loving them. Absolutely stunning. And this place even has a contemporary and modern art collection. It's got people like Picasso, Van Gogh, Matisse, and hundreds of other artists I've never heard of. This museum is immense. Now we're getting very close to the bit where I wanted to see, and wifey too. We're queuing to get to the Sistine Chapel. Very excited. I don't think I'll be allowed to film anything in here, but we'll see. It's hairy. So we've pretty much finished the Vatican Museum, yeah. The Sistine Chapel was beautiful.
Much more colourful than I was expecting.
Yeah. Truly awesome. So we're giving our feetsies a little rest now. A little drink. We sat by the garden that you sort of see when you first come in.
Some postcards to write.
Yeah, send some postcards out. And basically just chill out for half hour. We've got to try and get into the Basilica at some point. Apparently that's a bit hit and miss whether you can actually get in or not, because depending on how busy it is. So we'll see, because it'd be a shame to not get in there. But for now, I'm just sucking in some oxygen, because it's that many people in all these little rooms. You make the most of the view. Even the Pope approves of a drink now and again. Vatican has its own post office, and two ladies accosted us outside, and they'd been yesterday, but it was too late, so we're sending some postcards for them, and then we're sending our own postcards. So they all come officially Vaticano post office stamped up. So yeah, it's quite cool. Smile. So we're at the museum. It was properly amazing. The whole museum's filled with so much historical paintings, sculptures, tapestries, artifacts, you name it, it's in there. Like some of the Egyptian stuff was like 2040 BC. I mean, really great little walk around. You could lose yourself in there. But Sonia saw her Raphael Rooms and I saw my Sistine Chapel. Absolutely amazing. So now we're going to fight the crowds to see if we can get into St. Peter's Basilica. It's on. Well, we're at St. Peter's Square.
We are, with a lot of other people.
Yeah, it's a particularly beautiful square. I mean, it really is glorious. The queue to get in looks pretty horrific. And it is 37 degrees. I don't know if it's moving quick or not. But there's St. Peter's Fountain. There's an obelisk in the middle. So what are we saying then, babes? Are we going to grimly stand out in 37 degrees to get in there? It's now or never.
It is. It's likely to be 2 hours.
Is it?
What do you think?
I thought you had some sort of anorak fact.
Well, I mean, it says online expect a queue 2 to 3 hours.
We'll be burnt to crisp. It's
I
to
mean,
be decided.
It's not.
Well,
we're queuing.
we're braving it.
We've been in here for about 15 minutes nearly.
Yeah. We started out over there, and we're now, after 15 minutes, all the way here. Just about to enter the airport style, make you walk 50 miles to go 20 metres. Been off to buy some drinks to keep us alive, and hopefully we'll get there before it shuts. What do you think of the square then, baby?
I'd like to know a bit more about all the statues around.
Oh, what, at the top? Yeah. That's what she's on about. All these different statues along the top. Anyway, got to refresh the factor 50 on this chrome dome. Well, we've pretty much done it. We're at security now. And I've done a lot of research on this before planning this trip. And honestly, all the YouTube things that I've seen, they're sort of saying, oh, you got to get here so early, or the queue's going to be manic. How long that took us to get here?
45 minutes.
We've done the whole lot from all the way back there in 45 minutes, which, you know, the temperature's been a bit saucy, but 45 minutes, I think, is nothing. So don't be afraid to join the queue, people. I just stole an Anorak fact.
So did I.
That St Peter's Square holds 200,000 people.
Oh, no.
Oh,
No.
go on then, hang on. What's your one?
But these chairs are out, so for an audience with the Pope, usually on a Wednesday.
Oh. So going into the church is free, and you can go into what they call the grottos, didn't they?
Yep.
But you can also go into the dome, which costs €8 if you want to walk 551 steps, or €10 if you want to catch a lift. And basically, we stumped up the extra euros and caught a lift.
Well, someone is telling us there's still steps.
Oh.
We'll let you know.
Yeah,
Well.
So yeah, we're at the dome. Go and have a little look. And it is absolutely stunning. There's a big ring of absolutely amazing mosaics all around. And you are really high when you're up there. Looking down, the people below really do just look like little ants crawling about. And yes, there were stairs, but you were right sort of in the dome of the building. But I think we can all agree that when you get to the top, it is totally worth it. 360-degree views of the city, absolutely amazing views. Now we're in the main Basilica. We're very hot, very sweaty. Turns out we didn't have an absolute clue what we was doing with that dome. It's 230 steps you dodged by taking the lift, and it's another 321 by foot to get you up there, so we had to do more steps than we dodged.
Yeah.
But it was worth it. So just having a look around the main Basilica now, and it is absolutely jaw-dropping. So that's where we were, up there on the inside of the dome, and all those amazing mosaics. You can't even see really. Well, no, you can't.
Christ Church to check if this is still alive when it
But
was
it's amazing. Wifey's dropping anorak bombs all over the place.
Wikipedia.
What is it? The biggest what?
Largest church in the world by interior measure,
There you go.
and is one of the most renowned works of Italian Renaissance architecture.
Veramente santo sei tuo Padre, fonte di ogni santità.
There's a guard with his special uniform, looking very, very smart. Wife's been doing her homework. So what are all these statues, babes?
Well, yes, I was intrigued to know myself. So there's 140 statues representing Catholic saints.
Yep.
And then this St Peter and St Paul are the two larger statues waving to the faithful.
Waving to the faithful. Well, thank you, St Peter. Your piazza, your obelisk, your fountains, your church, your dome have all been amazing. We've had a great time.
Very good. Worth the 45-minute queue, was
Yeah,
it?
in 37 saucy degrees of heat, but it was totally worth it.
And I can't believe we've spent the whole day at the Vatican City, which people might go, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got here at 10 and it's now
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, and it's gone quick, but so much to see,
Yeah.
so much history, paintings, sculptures, you name it. And in there is awesome. Everywhere you look is just a feast for the eyes. But yeah, so we're going to go try and find some food. Try and find somewhere to get a few little tipples for when we get back to the van. And then we're going to put our aching little feetsies up and chill until it's time for bed. Well, that was one of the most delicious dinners we've had in a long time.
Bloody delicious dinner. It kind of felt like it was our first proper Italian meal, didn't it?
Yes, boss. But Il Segreto, wifey just went online, looked up, and some website had recommended it, hadn't they?
Yeah, it was like a blog, like Tour Rome Food or something.
Yeah. And then, while we were sat out, we had to sit outside because the restaurant was fully booked inside. But we actually quite enjoyed that in the end, didn't we?
Yeah.
But while we were there, two separate food tour groups turned up and started talking about it all. So we were like, oh, well, we've landed on our feet here.
Yeah, it was a Roman Italian restaurant.
Yeah. And it's, you know, and it's on the map for loads of food tour guides, etc.
Yeah.
And it lived up to, well, we didn't have any expectations, but it blew them away. Everything we had was...
So we shared bruschetta to start with.
Yeah.
Delicious. We each had carbonara.
We certainly did.
Delicious. Very delicious. Best carbonara I've probably ever had. And then we shared a tiramisu,
We did.
which was very, very lovely.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed every mouthful. And I'd recommend it to anyone.
Definitely.
And it was just total fluke. We're landing on our feet in Rome today, aren't we?
We have. Now
We'll-
to find our way back
Yeah. Now, yeah.
Back
That's
home.
that's the next thing.
with any supplies we want to get on with.
Yeah. Anyway, fingers crossed. We'll be back. But that restaurant was special, delicious.